Should be going live. Yes, live now. What's up, everybody? Steven here, the Horror Freak 85, here with Echo and our guest tonight, Julianne Prescott. How are you tonight?
I am good. How are you guys?
Good, good. Thank you for coming. Glad to have you.
Thank you for
So
having me.
we'll give it a few minutes. Just how was your day? We'll just talk for a few minutes before we get into business here.
It was hot. I just went out again.
Oh
The dog
yeah,
is hot. It's real hot still.
they
It's
yeah,
real
they
hot.
hit us with a heat advisory here. They hit us with a heat advisory here, and so I'm like buying my ACs and drinking plenty of water. Hope you're doing that too, because
Yeah.
you know,
We have heat advisories here every day too. But I'm kind of getting used to it. It's just the fact that it is a little late and my dog is with his feet in the air. Like he's like this. He's like,
Tongue
wow.
out for all like.
He wants to go out. No, the will is there, but it's not good. It's just not good out there. But it's other
I
than
think
that, it's nice.
yeah, and I think dogs, what they say, the sweat glands are on the paws or something.
Oh,
I think he's just one big sweat gland, honestly, because but he doesn't realize it because he's so adventurous that he just wants to do whatever, and then it doesn't hit him till he comes inside. I've had to put him in the fridge, in the freezer. Like I have to like pour. The funny thing is, he wants water, but he has to have fresh water. It has to be ice cold. Otherwise, he'll just look at it and he'll be like panting. I'm like, dude, you're thirsty. Just drink the water. But he's like, nah,
We,
I'm good. I
we
need to
have
get
one of
the
those
fridge, the towel, and
we have one of those water like feeder type things, you can use.
he
You
doesn't
know,
want that. He has to,
I put
everything has
yeah,
to be fresh for some reason. He's
yeah,
smoothie.
I took to putting ice cubes in it.
Yeah. If I could do that with him, I would definitely do that. Actually, I haven't even used the ice maker here yet. I don't even know if it works, but he wants like fresh. It has to be like we just put it out there and he watches. Otherwise, he won't trust it. I don't know why. If it's been sitting, so the feeders for some reason he's just not into it. He also doesn't like pet bowls. It has to be like the nicest bowls in the whole house. He has to be served with a nice proper set of dishes there for him as well. He is a um, Russian Svetnaya Bolonka. I think that's how you say it, but I just say a
Oh,
Bolonka. He's in the
that
Shih
that's
Tzu
a
family.
that's a tongue full.
It is. He's I mean, he looks like a Shih Tzu. He's a black, very, very, very thick fur, um, and it has to get groomed like very quickly, or it gets very thick. Hey, Cody. And then water, it'll just roll off of him. Like he's got fur that does very well with snow, but again, he doesn't even feel the snow. He'll be like just trucking it through that too. So
yeah, welcome, Cody and Joshua. And I don't know if she's going to stop by or not, but she did want me to tell you hello, Sadie Katz. I was talking to her earlier to get a
oh,
photo, so
I
she
love
wanted to
her.
say hello to you.
That's awesome. Return the hello, or I'll kind of pop in to watch hers too. I know that's next Saturday, right?
The
Same time.
22nd
Oh, the
after.
22nd.
Next week is Gabriella Pios. I don't know why I have trouble saying her simple last name, Pizzolo from Stranger Things and Pretty Little
Oh,
Liars
wow.
and Broadway
Oh, you
shows.
got some great people on this show. And it's the same time, same bat channel for all these shows, right?
Yep, exactly. All the same time. So, yep. So, next couple weeks is good. And trying to figure out for the 29th, though. Got a couple out, but see who replies. But I'm sure I got
Cool.
plenty of time. So, but
Yeah.
tonight's about you, though. So, we're getting some people in here.
No
Got
pressure. No
so far.
pressure.
Yep. And if anyone is watching on Facebook, just allow it to use your username if you want us to know who you are. All right. So if you want to tell us a little about yourself, where you grew up and what got you into acting, if you did it throughout school or who inspired you to do it.
I think my mom was my biggest inspiration. I feel like a lot of people say that, but it was a little different. She had this big screenwriting book, and I would read it, and I didn't know what a lot of it meant, but I kind of got into writing short stories for horror movies that I like. So I kind of was writing my like an early rendition of fan films, basically, like little mini short fan films for the things that my 8 to 10 year old brain was interested in at the time. So I would take out a lot of things and put in more death and more like violence and like one-liners. I was really into the like really campy, cheesy kind of one-liners. And so it inspired me to get into writing. And then as far as acting, I really didn't have interest in it for a very long time. I started doing more like stage work, and I did work at conventions for trauma as a traumette, kind of helping out the booths. And then I was told to, hey, why don't you just go and be in one of these independent films that are local? And I went on Craigslist. This is back when Craigslist, I mean, it was creepy back then, but I don't even know what it is today. But it was
Yeah.
actually a little bit useful still back then. This is like 2004-ish. And then I sent some things out. And then I think 2006 is when my first film came out. I wasn't going to get it. They said, you have no experience, but because I did the work for trauma, usually at the conventions in Orlando, they vouched for me and basically said, give her a shot. And funny enough, Debbie Rashawn was at that shoot, and she was so cool to like learn from and gave great advice to everybody. It's a anthology called Slices, and I think you can still get it. I know Trent Haga was in it. A lot of really cool people worked on that one, and then I just didn't stop really into it.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that. I'm not sure.
You can. I think it's still available on Amazon. I don't know if I think there might have been a point where I saw there's no copies available, whatever. I don't know if they reissued it or where you can get it, but I think it's still available. But I loved doing what I did with that one, and so I just went to the next one, and I really didn't stop for a few years. And then I got into a lot of TV work and commercial stuff down in Florida. And then I kind of took a break when I went to LA because there was just so much going on. I went to a few auditions, but really it was not where I was really finding what I wanted out of it. I wasn't finding that more of like the horror kind of genre escape into the films there. So I kind of stopped for a few years. I got back into it, and then I fell into the production side, and this is where I am. And I'm kind of like I love acting, but I really am finding that not only is the production side very fulfilling for me, but it's bringing me back to the writing roots, which is kind of where I started. So that's my entire journey on a Loki plate.
So which conventions in Florida was it, like MegaCon? Which ones did Lloyd go to? Like
MegaCon was the one, actually. MegaCon is the one where I was working with them the most, and I was performing at back booth and helping out with the booth there. And that's the main one I think that I did actually work with them at.
Mm-hmm. So who knows? I might even met you at a con and didn't even remember. Because I've been to so many of them, and Spooky Empire, of course, is another big one here in Florida.
Yeah, that's the big one though too, for sure. It's a great one too.
Yeah. So let's see. The Master of All Movies is here. DVD Collectors says hello.
Good trauma.
Right.
I remember, I think in high school, I think me and one of my friends knew about them, and we decided to introduce all our other friends to them. And next thing you know, we're all going down to the video store, and there's a big stack of the movies from there. Like, we're having a trauma party, and me going, what did I do? Did I create a monster?
Toxic Avenger is still like epic. That's like the best. Toxic Avenger and Nukem High. All those.
What was it? I was like naming off some of the names. I go, Teenage Cat Girls in Heat, and someone goes, are you talking about a porn movie? It's like, nope, it's a trauma movie.
That was so funny, that Teenage Cat Girls in Heat. I think I have that somewhere. I got that when I was working at Suncoast, when Sam Goody and Suncoast were still around.
Yeah.
What is that one? I don't know if it's actually trauma, but it's like the avocado Amazon or Women of the Amazon.
You
know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, because it might have been one of the ones they distributed, because there's a whole bunch they distributed, so it could have been one of those. But
it wasn't that Amazon Hot Box or whatever.
No, that's a different one. This is like avocado something, Amazon Women or something. I don't know. It was like a really long, really epic title, and it came up again for some reason. I don't think it was the last drive-in. I don't remember where I saw it mentioned, and I just remember that title and being like, "This is going to be the best thing I've ever seen." Because that, I mean, I love trauma. I love a lot of things about trauma have kind of gone in and out of my life throughout this journey too. So those are definitely, I owe them pretty much, a huge portion of what I've been able to do with my artistic abilities and talents. I really love them, and I owe them a lot. So it's kind of it's a great release for people, and it's taught so many people. Hi. It's taught so many people how to make their own damn movie.
Yeah, he has those books. In fact, that was James Gunn.
Yeah,
James Gunn, and that's why Lloyd's in was in at least one of the Guardian movies, I think. As an
Yeah, he
extra
is.
in the first one.
He was in there for a second, and it's like a big jail kind of thing. I think he was one
Yeah,
of
the
the
space
inmates real quick.
jail.
The space jail, yeah.
Space jail. I'm going to jail. I want to go to space jail. It seemed really fun there.
Let's see. Oh, Cody said cannibal women and the avocado. I cannot talk tonight.
It's a long title. It's a real long one.
That is.
Here, I'll just put it across the screen. You can read it.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
gonna-
it. Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death. That's the one. Thank you.
There we go.
Now you see why I couldn't remember everything about like the whole title.
It's like a tongue twist to say that fast 3 times real fast.
I don't think I could do it.
Nah, will not attempt that.
Do you have a favorite trauma movie?
I like the Nukem Highs.
Let's see. We'll have to go with Poultrygeist.
That's a good
Oh
one.
yes, Poultrygeist.
The Chicken Undead. It used to be Terraformer, but then I think I had way too much watching Poultrygeist.
I love
Oh,
Terraformer.
Cannibal the musical.
Yep, that's a great one too. It's definitely, it needs more love because it's so fun. And of course I love Romeo and Juliet too. So
Oh yeah,
that's a great
good
one.
old Lemmy.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm heading over to Facebook. There's someone that said, "Hey Julie," but it just says Facebook user. So just allow it
Hello,
to.
I'm surprised I could see some of these names come up here. I usually can't see them, so but I'm able to see a couple people too myself here. I don't know if that's through Facebook or if it's another way that I'm seeing them, but when I see people, I will say hello to you. Otherwise, I need
It's
to.
Avery that said, "Hey Julie."
Oh, it's Avery. Okay, hi Avery. Yeah,
Well,
I
okay,
can't
she
see
just
that.
put that,
Someone has to tell me.
So, but yeah, it's weird. Like even if there's multiple users, if they don't say it, it'll just say Facebook user. So
Yeah.
you should allow it through StreamYard whenever you're on there. But we know that's you. But anyone else who's watching who wants to put their name just to prove the connection to StreamYard to say your name. So.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. All right.
Because I'm dual streaming on Facebook and here in the group, and yeah.
Got it.
So
That
yeah.
is cool.
Yes, it's a good tool. I like it, so people can watch in both.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's on here. There's a couple people on Facebook right now, and then the rest are in here. So we got about 12, 13 people. It looks like so.
I think this is my favorite platform to do a live on. I think this one for me has been like the easiest to use.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the Facebook Live, it's just, I mean, it's been okay, but I think this one's really the best one.
Yeah, StreamYard is the best, the easiest, best way to connect. Let's see, the Master of all.
I used one of the other ones. I forget, it was like one of the Streamlabs, OBS, or whatever, and my computer ended up sounding like a race car. So I'm sitting there using this. I'm like, nope. That's going. Computer shouldn't make that kind of sound.
No, that's kind of scary. I was on one where it was doing like a countdown. It's like 5, 4 before it was going to end, and I was just like, wait, I didn't know what's happening.
It ended the stream. What?
Yeah, because it ran out of time, but I had no idea. It's like this is about to end. I'm like, okay, and it did like a whole weird countdown. It was very dramatic.
It's like I'm not done, but okay. There we go.
Isn't it like Instagram does like what 60 minutes or something?
Oh, I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah, because someone was like, I've seen people on it. They get to talking and they go, "Oh, wait a minute, it's about to end. Goodbye." And then someone asks them, and they go 60 minutes, which really isn't that long, especially when you get to going.
No, it goes by fast, and then if you're in the middle of something, and then you get like a weird countdown, it just shuts down or makes like a weird motor car sound, like you were saying. I'd be horrified. Like, what is happening? Is it going to like destroy my computer or my phone? It's just going to self-destruct. That's it.
I was going to say it's going to self-destruct in 10 seconds.
Exactly.
Gosh, Inspector.
Oh, we're going back to Get Smart.
What about Get Smart now?
We're going back into like the secret agent talk with the self-destruct.
Should play some music. Secret Agent.
Oh God, I love that song.
It's a great song.
I love that they play that.
My mom, whenever we would drive, my dad would play country music, and my mom would play a lot of the oldies. So I heard that, and the Beatles, and all those old ones. Even though I don't like the Beatles, odds are if you play one of the songs I know, watch me start singing along.
Yeah, I have some favorites of those too. So, all right, Sarah Presswood.
I guess because it says the master of all movies, so instead of saying that, just
Yeah,
Sarah. So okay, Sarah, no, not a problem. Whatever you like to go by.
So you
that's
were in, according to this, uncredited Rock of Ages.
yeah, that was something I did. What year was that? It's like 2008 or something like that. And I
Uh,
was actually, you can see when you watch the movie, you can see me. I stick out like a sore thumb. I had blue hair, and I got there, and they're like, "You can't have blue hair like this." I'm like, "Well, I'm not leaving." I drove across the state. The person that got the roll through, like the agency, okayed it. So why were you guys not on the same page? So they ended up letting me stay. They covered all my tattoos. I had to wear like a turtleneck, but my hair was so blue that wherever they put me, it's funny because the director, Adam Shankman, actually stopped one of the scenes to say, the girl with the blue hair has to go over here. We see her too much. So out of a whole group of people, I just, no matter what I did, that hair was just shining. I was like, it's the 80s. I've seen plenty of people from the 80s that have blue hair. So,
yes,
um,
the
yeah.
80s fashion style, you know. So it's
Yeah.
why I say I miss the 80s, but the hairstyles can stay.
Well, they had all the big blondes, but they didn't have any blue-haired girls, so that was just me. So when you do see some of the scenes in the boiler room when they're having some of the musical numbers go on, you see me in the crowd, and somehow I always end up centered too. So it's like
You
it
can
was
always
really
tell them
fun.
that
It was fun.
you can always tell them there was one famous person from the 80s that had blue hair. Her name's Marge Simpson.
That very true. I was
Yep.
just, I was just there having a fun time. So it was a great experience to be part of that. It was massive, and it really felt like you were on the 80s, like in the 80s, because there was so much production value and like the costume and everything that was going on. It was great. And I love all those songs. So it was really fun. So, but it was different. It's definitely different doing that than it is opposed to being on an indie set where you know everybody and you're personal, and you basically are able to, go through the whole film, and it's like you're just like a number. You're just like that person, that person. Like you really don't have like a super identity on a massive set like that unless you really have a very featured role. So it was very different, but it was super cool.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I do have it in my collection. So I'll be like, oh yeah, there you are.
Good.
So
Yeah,
what?
sometimes
So you
people
said
watch it, they'll send me a screenshot and say, "Yep, that was me."
okay. Well, like you said, just find the blue hair person. There you go. So
Like, where's Waldo?
that's what I joke around when my little part Never Back Down. I was like, you can see me, like it's me, but if you're just watching the movie, like if you just
Yeah.
normally, it's like, oh okay, there's
I mean, you
Steven.
have to look. Like, you got to look for a timestamp, or you got to look for like a certain scene with those to know. It's like, okay, I'm at this scene. It's going to be like 27 minutes and 4 seconds. I'm going to be on the bleacher to the left, like 5 rows up, and next to the guy in the red shirt, with the brown cap, and so yeah, I know that feeling. But it's cool. It's cool to like be a part of that because then when you watch it, you're like, I was there. I was a part of that. I was in that.
Yeah, and those bigger productions too, like so many, like the Never Back Down. We did from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening, running back and forth, and it was like, oh my gosh! And then they like have to do the different camera helmets and angles, paint the bruises on, do that. It's like, oh my gosh! So they do
It's
like every.
definitely a machine because they're going fast and they have a whole team. It's like go over here, go over there, here.
Yeah,
I like watching those behind the scenes when they have those photos when they got, wait, hey, the bruise has got to be here according to this photo and look like this. They got to study the
Yeah.
photo and stuff.
And when
Hey,
they get
but yeah,
that, it's hard.
oh yeah, watching how they literally when you watch them do their makeup, they have all these photos from like the day before or whatever. They
I
like
know
got to
that one's
study.
Kyle. I knew that his name. I saw him
movie
pop up
movie buff. Yep, got it.
because I don't know everyone's names when it's just like so some of them are a name, some of them are a tag, and some of them are just user. Then
Yeah.
okay, see, I'm learning.
So, because it looks like Will's probably watching on Facebook because I saw a little Facebook mark next
Yeah,
to
I
it.
saw
So he
his name.
approved
I knew
the
his picture, but I
connection
also
there. So.
saw his name. So, someone else I saw their actual name. It wasn't just like their handle or whatnot. So, it's this technology. It gets very involved sometimes.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It is what it is. It's crazy. Sometimes it just goes maximum overdrive, whatever.
Oh, don't let it do that.
And, and the thing is, they have a limit to how many characters you can use for your name on YouTube, and there's people who really push it. And I think there was somebody at one point they were like, we were telling them add another letter. They're like, no, we're at the limit.
Oh, we've been good, Kyle. How have you been? I have the AC. Thankfully, the AC works good in here, but Texas is just brutally hot.
At least you're not in Florida, whatever. They're gonna get that dust.
Oh, yeah.
What are we getting now? I didn't hear what now.
All that dust from
what is fucked up Florida getting now?
it's like they're gonna get a big dust cloud from overseas or whatever's blowing towards there. It's like on the news, like, oh wow.
You know what it makes me think of is a Creep Show too. The thing in the water, that big oil
when it comes up, he's like, "I beat you." No, you didn't.
That's Florida. It's over there.
I think of all the segments in that movie, that's the one that sticks the most with me.
No, that one. And Thanks for the Ride Lady. Thanks for the Ride Lady is my favorite. Just because.
Well, I think that's based also on an old urban myth, isn't it? I think that story of the woman who hit the guy. I do roughly remember hearing an urban myth like that.
Yeah. Never got
I made the mistake of going down that rabbit hole years ago, and I'm not going down that rabbit hole again. That gets creepy.
No, I know. Oh yeah, the Blob was scary in Creep Show. And Cody says it's hot. Well, Cody, you're going to be coming here. Well, it won't be hot when you get here for the filming. So at least that's why I'm planning it for January too, because I remember I'm from Florida, and then I lived in California. I lived in Vegas. So I've been in California, I think, had the best weather as far as like the temperatures. So this is kind of a mixture of if you mashed Vegas with Florida, like Nevada and Florida. It's kind of, but it's not as humid here, but it's that like really hot, spicy heat.
Yeah, at least we'll be there in January, so that'll be good. It won't be too bad.
Exactly.
California used to have also one of the best alarm. Last time I was there was 20 years ago. Best alarm clock was the asshole who would go out, park his car outside my grandmother's house and salt the board and rubber every time, same time every morning. And that's when you knew, okay, it's time to get up. The asshole's here. I don't know why he's there doing that, but time to get up.
Because that's what he does. So it's that way in Oklahoma too. Yeah, there's been a few weeks ago, there was a lot of like tornadic stuff going on. It was very close to here. I was like, here comes my first tornado. But luckily it, didn't get quite here. Went other places, unfortunately. But it felt like the whole country had it going on too. So it's just wherever you are, that's where you are. So that's my kind of motto.
I think tornado is the one thing tornado and tsunami are the only things I haven't dealt with yet. I was in Seattle about 20 years ago when they had that earthquake.
Oh yeah.
It woke me up. I was like, I wake up and I thought there was construction going nearby me. So I wake up, everything's shaking. I'm like, God, damn trucks. And then I hear my mom screaming and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh no. I was only in one that really I felt. I felt a couple, but this one, the strongest one, it just felt like The Exorcist. It was like the bed went like do 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 do. So
you ever hear of the Seattle Underground?
Seattle Underground?
There's the Seattle Underground City.
Oh no, I've never even been to Seattle.
Like 100 or more years ago, Seattle went to the ground.
Wow.
So they built on top of it, and the old Seattle is still there. And because of the earthquake, for a while there, you couldn't go on a tour of it because they wanted to make sure it was safe.
Yeah, I could imagine. So that would be so horrifying. Like, I don't even know. Like, that's just, I can't even, that's something that's definitely, I'm sure there are movies that have done that. Somebody knows. I'm sure there's been movies where something like that's happened. I know there's a lot of catacomb movies and things like that. I know subways are scary as heck. So, and tunnels just in general, anything underground, I'm not really a super fan of. So
a lot of it has been like abandoned and stuff. I've seen videos where they talk about areas that are just completely abandoned and they just block it off.
Yeah, I mean, I know that when you are going into the shelters for the tornadoes and such, you do go, into a shelter, and it's underground. But besides that, I don't know. I'm pretty happy where I am on land. So I think I'll stick with
Just
that.
as long as it's not shaking, it's okay.
Exactly. It's not shaking, it's not spinning, then you're good. You're good to go.
I mean, I remember my first hurricane. I was a little kid. I got upset because we had to go to a shelter. I didn't want to leave my toys, and then we get to the shelter, and it's all these other little kids my age. It's like, forget about the toys.
You kind of have to. I went through a couple in Florida myself, but wherever you are, that's where you are. When is Silent Night, Bloody Night 3 coming out? I know it's weird. I'm asking. Yes, you are absolutely still in the movie. You're one of the main characters, and you're actually so freaking hilarious in it, Kyle. Like, you're going to love it. And it was just announced. I don't know if you saw, but the distributor said it's coming out this Christmas. So we'll get with you and let you know for sure when you can get it and when everything's going to be, when you can announce it and like the exact dates and stuff. So that was just announced maybe like a week or two ago that it's going to be like this holiday season for everybody that wants to know that one that was in it or who contributed or who's just supporting that wants to know on that one. So thank you.
And
That's
I know
connected to
Jamie and Tim are in that too, I believe. Our other Bologna pals there, Tim and Jamie.
and
Oh yeah,
that's part of that that series that started back in the 1970s.
Yeah, it's if it's not, I don't want to say for sure, but I think it's one of the longest running horror series, and especially as far as seasonal holiday horror, it's one of the longest running. And we did have Lloyd Kaufman, who was a part of that first one. So we have him in that one. And as Will was saying earlier, I do kind of spoiler, I do kind of kill him. I'm not going to say how because I don't want to.
Oh, come on. Don't be killing Uncle Lloyd.
It was fun to kill him.
You stuck on a candy cane until like it's a spear on a candy cane, and then you jab it in his face, right, or up his nose.
Well, then again, he did get blown up in Terraformer.
Oh yeah, he did. He sure did. Oh, there goes my dog.
I see him in the background, like
he's just going through. He has no idea. This is what he does. Hopefully, he doesn't do anything like nasty back there. He's just scratching his head. But see how
he's just licking himself.
Exactly, like inappropriate and unacceptable.
Mine has this new trick where she's into trying to give me a heart attack. Well, she'll just lie there and she won't acknowledge me. She's like playing dead. I can try to pick her up and she just like goes limp. She does this to me and I'll start freaking out and then she moves and it's like, I hate you so much when you do that. My poor heart's breaking. It's like, you think that's funny? It's not.
They're crazy. Now he's looking at me right now. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, is this work? Are you working? Yes. I'm so sorry. Go eat your food.
Who are you talking to? You're just talking to a screen.
He's very.
I was looking at you. Yeah, I was looking at you.
He'll swipe the phone too. He can't swipe this one, and that's what he wants to do. So instead, he'll give me like the sad face, but he will swipe a phone. Anything that he can get his paws on, he tries to like get it out of there because he doesn't want me talking to nobody.
Has they ever done the money thing? Because I've had before where my mom had the Chihuahua where I'd be holding money and the dog would walk up to me and she'd take it right out of my hand. Like, what the? Why are you doing that?
He does baby hands. He does this thing where he's like dances and does I call it baby hands. So that's kind of his thing that he likes to do. But besides that, he's very. I mean, dogs have such personality. They're great.
Oh yeah.
They really are great companions, especially when you have a lot of time by yourself or you work late hours or something like that. It's real nice to have them around, but they are crazy.
And hey, they also can, sometimes make money for people because people do all these social media for them, and the next thing you know, they're all over the place. And
I know. Oh, Loki has a TikTok. He just hasn't been working lately because I've been working and focusing on the movies. So he does have a TikTok. He's actually able to go live. We just haven't done it yet. So he will be going live at a point. And for Kyle made a comment. I think that Will is in here, Kyle. And if not, I will pass your message along to him for sure. But I think he's in here. I don't know if he's still.
He was earlier, so I don't know.
He might have went to, but I'll pass it on too.
Let's see. You got a question here from The View withdrew. If you were living the life of a monster, what life would stink more, being a vampire or a werewolf? I think being a werewolf is worse.
No, a vampire, because how can you fix your hair if you don't got a reflection?
That's a good one. Well, I think my gripe with both of them I mean, I would prefer to be a vampire just because I don't want to shave that much. That's like, and the hair and just, I'm really like, I look at Loki and I think about with the heat, especially in Texas, a werewolf in Texas. Hey, that's a good movie name if somebody wants to do that. But would be very miserable. But I don't like veins and tendons, blood, and kind of. Even though I love horror in real life, kind of screams me out. So I think that I would have to be a vampire. I would choose it, but I would have to see. There he goes. There's a baby hand.
I was gonna say he wants to play.
That's his beer bottle too. So he's trying to show you guys.
Well,
Anyway, I would. Okay, so debate is. I finally made my final choice. Vampire, but I need to go to the blood bank. I can't farm my own.
And not a Twilight vampire either. You don't want to sparkle.
Oh,
Because
no sparkly daylight vampire things. No. God knows, I snapped the first time I heard about that, and there was a few colorful words I might have said that I can't repeat when I first heard about the whole sparkly vampire thing.
No.
But still, like, if you want to see, how does this, top look on me? Is my hair okay? Go look at the reflection. Oh, son of a.
The view with Drew, I agree. That's another good point about becoming a werewolf. It looks super painful. Like it doesn't seem like it goes very easily. I mean, the vampire, you die and that sucks, but you come back. And I'm pale. I'm not friends with the sun anyway. It kind of like works for me. I'm halfway there, I feel anyway. It's just the whole vein thing is kind of where I need to draw the line.
And hell, you could eat and drink as much as you want, and you're not going to put on any weight.
Yeah.
So Will says you also wake up naked in random places. So
That's true.
That is, what was it? In
True.
American Werewolf in London, he woke up like in a zoo or something.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
Which reminds
By the
me
way,
of the Terminator. So I don't want to be a Terminator either because I just feel like that would be really rough too.
Do you have
time travel? Yeah, time travel. That can happen too. So a time traveling werewolf would be like hell.
They released one called Metal Beast back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Kane Hodder plays the werewolf.
Wow.
It looked aged back when it was released back in 95.
Okay.
Really bad. Sounds bad. Like somehow they made it look like it was 20 years old when it was released in 95. Because the quality is that bad. Almost 30 years later or whatever, I watched it and I'm like, God, this movie still looks bad.
I haven't watched it in a while, but
they shoot him in the leg with this like rocket launcher that doesn't blow up, and he pulls it out of his leg, and they put the popping sound, a little pop, and I lost it laughing. It's a little, like when you pull something out, it's a little sound. They put that in there, and it's just so comical. Do you have a favorite? Because it was horror. There's different, what do you call categories of it? Zombie, vampire, monster, all that stuff. Do you have one?
Slasher, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Do you have one you're a particular fan of?
I can't really say because it goes all over the place for me. I think that I really love period pieces a lot.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I love slashers. It's really hard to pick just one. I don't think I do have one, honestly. I mean, I love a lot of like international horror. I love ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I can't really decide. If I had to really pick one, I guess I would have to say slashers, but more like with a dark comedic slashers. So maybe that would be kind of my favorite, just because it takes special creature features or special, like I don't like every single ghost story or every single kind of like the bathrooms.
I was the guy who had the tendency of when I used to drink really a lot. I was a guy you would find under the tables. For some strange reason, I would crawl under tables. And like, we'd be looking for me. It's like just people pointing at the table.
He's under the table.
Yeah, passed out guy under the table.
So you have actually been the embodiment of the term "drink someone under the table."
Pretty much.
Literally.
And then there's one downside to falling, pass out under a table. If no one noticed you the next day, you're getting kicked.
Yeah. I would be scared the table would fall. I have like this fear of surfaces just not holding for some reason. I guess I get a lot of IKEA furniture, so I'm always like, oh my God, what if you're under there and it just falls down or something?
Oh man.
So you were under some sturdy tables at least. But I'm assuming
Yeah,
that you did get kicked.
yeah, but that actually comes from my whole table thing came from high school because that was where I used to hide from people when I would want to skip class,
Ah,
and I think it's when I was in my years later when I started drinking, it was like I kind of the same thing followed, and yeah, you get kicked and not a pleasant way to wake up.
I mean, it's one way to wake up, but sure not pleasant and not comfortable.
No Spookella, Patrick. There was when I went to Spookella. Every time we said Spookella, me and Doomsday had to take a drink. So like we were saying, "Oh yeah, Spookella." Oh yeah, that's
Oh my
it's,
God.
I had a fireball. We were drinking off the side. We didn't know if we could drink on camera or whatever. He was on Facebook. He just said go to the side. But I had a fireball that was like barely drank, maybe like a few sips or whatever. But by the time I got to it, it was almost like less than a quarter left of the bottle that night.
Oh no. Yeah, that's the
Oh,
problem with that.
I mean,
That
I only
fireball.
drink at conventions, so I mean, I don't drink often, only at conventions. But it's
And,
funny because
and
I
Fireball is
drink.
really good too.
What
Fireball
is?
was the burn is the first burn, but then you get used to it,
I
and
love
after a
Fireball.
while, you're like,
Yeah,
oh, this is fine, and then you don't.
I- and I
It just
drink water too, and everything, and stay hydrated and all that. And I
Yeah.
remember everything. And what's funny is, like everything in the room looked normal, and then when I looked at him, his head was like it was weird. He had like three eyes and two heads, and he was the only one. And I told him, he's like, oh, so it's like my Doomsday shirt with three. And I go, yes. And I told him the next day, and he goes, no, you remember all this stuff? I'm like, yeah, I told you this story and went that. And then he's like, dude, you remember all that? I'm like, yeah.
Like, I'm a professional. I'm very, very professional. I keep everything cataloged for later.
Yeah.
I'm that friend.
It's funny because, like I said, I remember everything, but it's like I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, so it's all good.
I only remember the embarrassing stuff, usually about the other people. Because I had a friend one time, he thought I was passed out. I was just
Is
drunk,
that friend
and
listening?
he told his girlfriend, "Get ready for Dr. Love." Right when he walked past me, and the next day we're talking, and I go, so I said about I called him Dr. Love. He was goth. I did not know a goth could get that pale.
I'm surprised he didn't turn red.
Oh, that's
See,
funny.
these are the days of our lives, though. It's all in good fun, and like you said, you remember the fun stuff and the fun times, and that's what makes our life, so colorful and interesting is being able to have fun times with people and crazy stories and just having those
Especially,
friends that were there.
The ways of the conventions. What happened?
Exactly.
we unfortunately we don't have any in my area because I live in Central
Oh,
Washington. All we have is the Bigfoot convention, which I've had a few people
so
going,
fun.
"You need to go there." I'm like, "Oh God, something tells me to be scary."
I would
I had
imagine
one of my
the
cousins.
cosplays would be pretty great. I mean, I would feel like because it would be very like one unit. It's all very kind of uniform with all of them. It's one kind of monster instead of like different cosplays of different things. You have just a massive sea of Bigfoots just everywhere. So that would be kind of cool,
Just like
honestly.
at Dragon Con, how there's a ton of Deadpools, it'd be a ton of Bigfoots.
Exactly. It's so different, and then like a different imagining of each everybody's take on Bigfoot. How many Bigfoots can you Bigfoot exactly? I think that the answer probably lies at this convention.
Yeah.
So
What is it? The cryptozoology or whatever convention.
I'm sure I'll end up going someday because people will end up bugging me nonstop. I'll be like, "Okay, let me grab my camera and go."
see, I like cryptids. So, but I know that that's not exactly. I mean, I don't know if that's where they're getting the whole feel from. So, see, Cody's gone. He gets one in Oklahoma out there. That's cool. Yeah, and it's always awesome when they have screenings and things like that too. It gives people a way to express their art and put stuff out there too. So that's a way for
Yeah,
people to meet up and do
Washington
that too.
State. Yeah, you can split Washington State up into three parts: West, Central, and East.
Okay.
West gets, which is Seattle. That gets everything. We don't get any of the love. So it's like
Oh,
no
which part are
wonder
you in?
people. What?
Which part are you in?
Central Washington.
Okay, Central.
Basically, I live in what's called
Thank you,
in
Drew.
Yakima, which is I live near the the city where Sam Kinison was born.
Okay. Oh,
And
cool. Okay.
and Kyle, the guy from Twin Peaks, Kyle, whatever you say his last name, McLaughlin or whatever.
Okay.
He's from this area.
We'll see. At
But
least
I have a gripe with
people
him.
that are from there.
I have a gripe with him. He opened a winery in Walla Walla. But he's
Okay.
from this area. Come on, show
Why
some
couldn't you
love.
do
Everybody's just leaving you. You're like, whatever.
I mean,
Yes.
we're like we're the
kind of
new
been
Wine
out
Valley. We're supposed to be right behind Wine Valley in California.
Oh,
Right.
wow. Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
should have
come
some good
on,
stuff.
give us some love, man. Come home. Do your wine here.
Maybe they'll make a Bigfoot winery. That
There
would
you
I'm
go.
pretty sure there is one.
They'll
I'd rather
put
go
in
on
a wine glass in the shape of a foot. We just drink out of a foot.
I mean, they do out of the already, so why not the foot?
I mean, they have stalls and stuff. Let's do a Bigfoot.
You would never get me drinking from a glass shaped like a foot because that means toes. And
I mean,
do
it's
not like
fine.
toes.
I see no problem. I think, and then they have to come up with their own kind of like brand or their own special drink that's just for out there that you can only drink out of a Bigfoot's foot.
Yeah.
So somebody has to do that. If you're listening, if you're in Washington, then it's your opportunity to make this happen because he's looking for it. So you already have one customer. And Kyle McLaughlin or whomever when it comes to visit his parents.
Oh, man, it sounds like it's storming out
It's
right
like,
now.
come
Hopefully the
home.
internet stays good.
Oh, I see. That's a real struggle right there. I've had that before. You're frozen. Uh-oh, it's frozen. Oh no, did it take him?
I have seen.
Yeah, as I said, it's raining.
You froze.
I was just saying it's storming out right now. I hope the internet doesn't go out. And as soon as I said that,
I hope I would get people going because sometimes I would be like on camera and I wouldn't move, so people thought I was freezing. It's just somehow I got somehow like subconsciously I mastered the art of not moving a single inch, but I can't do it on command. It's like a subconscious thing.
Every time I've had to die, it's been so hard for me. It's very hard to stay that still, especially in that blink. The blinking part, you're fine until you have to die.
Do you have to hold your breath for those scenes?
You do. It's best if you like let it all out and just be kind of like flat, and then obviously try not to breathe. Like if you hold it, you poof up. That's not the best for it. But then I have very sensitive eyes to begin with, and I'm fine until they are ready to do it, and then I just start blinking and my eyes will get dry. But the best thing is to focus on something, like focus on a spot on the wall or something and try. But I'm really not that great when for long extended just scenes where you're staring at my dead face because it's very hard.
You ever get the giggles when they have to do that?
No, I want to actually cry because I can't keep my eyes open and stuck.
I mean, you see, have you seen Pearl yet?
Have I seen Pearl?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I like that movie.
I'm waiting for having to do that. How she had to stand there for who knows how many minutes.
I know.
With that grin on her face, and you can see
you
can see her eyes. So, was it me or was she tearing up at one point?
I think she probably was. I felt like the emotion they were trying to convey from her is that she's just lost her entire shit. So it's kind of like that laugh, cry, crazy. Not as much as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but just basically she's like like just kind of like lost her shit.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite death of yours?
Oh, Loki. Somebody has the nerve to live around, so he doesn't like it. God, I've died very many times. I love the pitchfork death scene I had in this movie as Night Falls. It's one of my first films where Debbie Rochon actually killed me with the pitchfork. I don't want to give too much away, but Camp Blood 666, I had part 2. I had a good death where with a shotgun where it gets shoved into me. I don't know. I really enjoy every time I die, pretty much. It's like my favorite part. I just like dying a lot. I love the creative ways that I've been able to die. So I feel like just every time I learn something new and something different happens that I enjoy. So I would say that, but the pitchfork thing was real fun because they were going to do like a wire, but they didn't have it or something happened. So I had to get up on like 3 different apple boxes on top of each box. So it was a little scary. And I had like the biggest shoes. And for some reason, nobody thought, including me, to just take the shoes off while I'm standing on that. So it was really hard to like stand up there and I'm like, I'm gonna fall and just like bust my ass. But because she was supposed to lift me up with the pitchfork. And then not silent, but Camp Blood 666 Part 2, it was like 5 in the morning. We had to leave at 11. It was like the last thing we were shooting. So I'm like, I'm like, do it. And like all this energy to just like get this last shot because we're all just so tired. It's been great working with him. I worked with him on like a lot of movies. There's a huge catalog of movies that I worked with him on.
I
My
just watched
too.
I watched what was it, Moon of the Blood Beast, whatever I just watched.
Yeah. I died.
You're just sitting in the car and all of a sudden the creature off screen just comes after you.
Yeah, that's right. That was a fun one. Yeah, I seem to die quite often in those films as well. It's a continuing thing with me. I don't live very often.
You're basically like Sean Bean.
Yeah, basically. I plan on if I do have any kind of cameo in movies that I'm in, I always like to get killed too. I never I choose to die, so it's just something that I enjoy doing. It's fun. It's fun. A lot of people love.
I was watching you in Night of the Zombie Ghouls.
Yes.
And man, I gotta say that Mike Ferguson guy, he looks like a big kind of scary guy to me.
He is. He's a massive guy. He's really cool though. He's a great person to work with. He's also like a great killer, and he has killed me a couple times as well on that subject. But he's very like intimidating, but he's cool like when you talk to him. But in the movies, he gives it his all, where he's just literally super committed, and he comes off as like a great like killer or monster or somebody that's usually playing a villain type role. I've seen him play good a couple times too, but he really does perform as a great villain.
I think the first time I saw him, he was in one of the Amityville ones where they had the zombies or something.
Oh, Amityville.
Uprising or something.
Not Harvest, because I was in Harvest.
Or Uprising, I think it was.
Yeah, it's the same director, yeah.
And you've been in some Amityville. You've done some Amityville stuff. That makes you part of that big franchise. I mean, it started off with one movie, and now someone sat down and counted how many movies have that, and it's like, oh my god.
I've seen those lists. I think I'm on those lists about. I think one of them. I don't know if it's 4 times, 6 times now. Amityville Thanksgiving, Amityville Turkey Day, which is coming out. Amityville Harvest. What other Amityvilles am I missing? I know I'm missing more Amityvilles. Oh, Amityville Park House. That's 4.
We were laughing about there was one called Amityville Toilet.
Yeah, there's like a couple that are just like so off the wall. And I also, for the times, as many times I've been to this Amityville universe, I have friends that have also expanded and done way more Amityville. So, and I lived by Amityville. In fact, my phone number, the area code is Amityville. Funny enough. So,
what are your thoughts about, because it's kind of, was that really a haunting or did they make it up? Nothing, from my understanding, nothing's happened there since that family left.
I think, well, I've obviously been to the house and a couple times, and it just feels, obviously something horrible happened there. I can't say for sure because I do believe in ghosts and possession and things like that. So I can't say for sure. The neighborhood, I don't know like the real history and all that kind of stuff, but I think that he obviously had something going on with him, whether it was he got possessed. I mean, oh yeah, I did write Amityville Karen, that's right. I knew there was another Amityville. I just wasn't there for that one in person, but I did write Amityville Karen. So I've been to Amityville with Karen as well. Shark House is we're actually I was talking to people about a week or two ago about getting that through the what is it called, like the deliverable kind of post-production process. So it is actually in the process of getting to be released hopefully very soon, but they're still working on some of the post-production stuff that is needed to get it to where it needs to be. So it is still in that process for the Amityville Shark House, which is another great one. But as far as what really happened there, I have no idea. I have no idea. I think that something could have possibly possessed him, or he could have just had something really wrong with him and snapped. Or it could have, obviously been a combination of both. But it's a weird place, and the people that live there just want to be left alone. I know there's other sites of killings where people will open the house and they'll do tours, and there's a little fly flying. Yeah, just Amityville.
I think the last movie that was just called Amityville had Ryan Reynolds in it.
Yeah, I like that. Just Amityville. Stop the Amityville. I know that there's a couple coming out. It's like the last freaking Amityville ever. Just stop the insanity of the Amityville. So I don't think they're going to stop though. Honestly, guys, I think it's going to.
Yeah, Amityville finally went the way of Jason, Hellraiser, and Leprechaun. They went to outer space.
Yeah, well, there is Amityville in space.
Yeah,
it's already gone to space. So it's already gone to space. It's gone. I don't know what's left, but it's like just when you think there's nothing for people to do left, it's gonna find a way. Life finds a way.
Hey,
it's just like Jurassic Park. Life finds a way.
The last Amityville movie I saw was that. I watched that Amityville. Was that Amityville Christmas Vacation?
Yep, that's the one I think that won the Fangoria, because Amityville Karen was up, and there was like a couple. I think Amityville in Space, Amityville Scarecrow, which I want to watch that because I'm scared of scarecrows. There was a couple that were up for that Fangoria award, and we were in there. And I think that one, the Christmas Vacation, is the one that won.
Yep, Steve Rudetsky. Yeah,
that's freaking cool. Like they kind of acknowledge the kind of outbreak of Amityville that we've all been a part of now. So that was cool. I don't know if they're going to continue that category next year.
I was going to say Turkey Day needs to go in next year.
It's hilarious. It's a crazy movie. It's super crazy.
I'm afraid to see what they come up with next. Since they've done Amityville Toilet, I'm afraid to see what comes up next.
Well, hey, Julie, remember my idea, Amityville Remote? That's sort of like a stay tuned idea. Got to do that.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
See, that would be great. And you should get that kind of copyrighted right now, because if you want to keep that idea, because that is
I should. When we say so many ideas on this show, it's like shit. We're going to see somebody just take that idea and be like, oh.
You got to write them down too. It's kind of like when you have dreams, you have these great dreams and you don't remember them.
Because of Cocaine Bear, we got this craze of animals on drugs.
Right.
Where's Amityville's entry into it?
Hey, I did a movie called Cocaine Werewolves, and that was like 2019 or 18 or something. It was before The Bear. So, and I don't know if that one's ever going to come out, but yeah. So that was.
They took a ton of
Amityville Cocaine. There you go.
Hey, they took a ton of liberties with that Cocaine Bear story. Because I got bored one day and I looked it up, and it's like the bear did it. It died.
That's it.
The
bear. That's
the mall.
Yeah.
There's that bear. I think is on display in a mall or something in Kentucky. I was reading if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think they have the bear, and you can go see the bear. I mean, just don't try to do drugs with it because you'll get arrested. But you can go visit the bear. That obviously
the things they show off. Anymore. It's like they show off the car that what's the names were shot in those old criminals, the guy and the girl, Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, Bonnie and Clyde, yeah. Now this museum too for that. I mean, I went to the Zach Baggins one in Vegas. There's a lot of crazy stuff in that one for sure. If you guys go to Vegas or you know anyone going, that's a great place for true crime and also haunted things. And it's also really scary, and there are really haunted things in there. So that one, they have a lot of things that were used at sites, and I don't know if they have anything from Amityville though. If they don't, he should get on that.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
sure
like
there's
a
some stuff out there
some
somewhere.
soil or
Somebody's got
something.
it in a private collection or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like that
probably.
guy. There was a guy that ran a junkyard, and he had this shark above the entrance. It turned out that shark was a very, very expensive shark. It was
Wow.
one of the fake sharks from Jaws.
Oh wow.
He ended
Yeah.
up donating it to somebody to restore.
Okay. Damn. Yeah, that would be super cool. I
I'd be
I don't
like,
know.
I'd be,
Like I don't know. I'd be scared of it though, because I'm kind of like I don't know how to swim, and
yeah.
sharks, of course, that's not something that I want to
I
deal
I
with.
made a mistake when I was a little kid. One of the channels showed a marathon of sea monster type horror movies when I was a little
Oh
kid. You know, little kids have imagination. Now they watch a marathon like that. I was too terrified to even take a bath.
no, I know. What Will's talking about is we were watching I forget the name of these kids that they do haunting shows, and they went to the clown hotel, and there's like a mural on that wall that they painted the characters from there, and there's also, I guess, behind the scenes from filming, like photos on the wall, and the kids are like, this is the lady, and they point at the mural on the wall, and I'm like, wait, I didn't die.
Is that the
Like,
one in is that the one in like Las Vegas that's near a cemetery?
it's in Tonopah. Yeah, it does have a cemetery next to it. And thank you, Kyle. I saw your comment too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there is a reason why I just want to go there, just spend the night there because that just
Stay in my room. You can see my haunting.
that actually would sound like an interesting experience. But then again, I also want to. They had a thing about one night spending a night or whatever in Castle Dracula.
Wow, yeah, that would be really cool. That would be, I just want to stay in a castle personally. I mean, I didn't care who haunts
There
it. I just want
is
to go.
one in Texas, I think,
I bet there is, and I'm gonna
because
find.
there's some. I see some YouTubers. The owners let them shoot videos there.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. I mean, I need to become like a YouTuber or something so I get access to just go in haunted places and be left to my own devices. I just don't want to get possessed. So I probably need a guide, maybe after all. I could get into trouble and then start, like, I guess, going crazy, bouncing off the walls, throwing things, possessing other people. I could become a haunting. It was interesting to see Amityville's Rug House. Exactly. See, everybody's there. You're getting the brains going. Somebody's going to make this movie that's in this right now. They're listening to the movie.
I'm just waiting to see someone come up with something really twisted, for Amityville. That's just gonna be like, never mind. They need to stop now. Some idea that's really twisted that just
It's
makes you
going to take it
go.
too far.
It's like that's it. That's it. Nope. There's a line.
And we crossed it.
Amityville dirty diapers or something. It's just like, no.
Amityville dirty diaper.
Right.
Any
Well,
movie that's got diapers in the name, I won't watch because I can watch some gory stuff, like Terrifier 2.
babies are scary.
Show me a dirty diaper and watch me basically set the world record for running away.
Amityville babies. There you go.
Amityville
Oh, yeah.
baby.
Like Rugrats
Yeah.
or something.
Steven was telling me, you have this, you got a movie, Cheerleader Camp Extermination.
Yes.
First thing that comes to my mind was the last cheerleader movie I saw that had Garrett Cassidy or whatever from Brady, from Partridge Family.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, not another cheerleader horror movie. No
Well, see,
more, no more.
this one, it has nothing to do, like what Kyle was saying. It doesn't have anything to do with any other cheerleader movies. I know it doesn't have anything to do with any other series or any of the other movies that are out there. So basically, I know that there's a lot of really awesome ones out there, but this one has a completely different spin. So it's definitely not going to be what you're expecting. It's not going to be like that. It doesn't have it doesn't basically have like your normal cheerleaders that are out there. It's not going to be just cheerleaders getting picked off by a killer. It's not going to be, cheerleaders that you're typical that are there to actually compete and do cheers. So the premise a little bit that's been put out there is that it's a bunch of people that were invited that were cheerleaders in their youth, but they've kind of messed up along the way and lost everything that they had. They're struggling in life and somebody knows it. So they're invited to this camp to compete. And once they get there, they start to get tested and pitted against each other. And then there are people there that are killing them and fighting them and basically seeing who's the best of the best. But that's where I'll leave it because I don't want to give anything else away.
Yeah, because what IMDb says is
Mhm.
mascots fight cheerleaders all with suspicious past where the winner takes all, including life, to be at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
And of course, I got a picture of a furry on the cover. I'm like, oh god,
Yeah, exactly.
I might have to watch this.
Too.
The furry's gonna pull me in.
Here.
Not the cheerleader, it's the furry thing, the image.
So it's not cheerleaders versus furries. I mean, I guess it kind of is, because what is a mascot? Kind of is a furry, isn't it? So I guess
sure, that could be another movie later on, cheerleaders versus furries.
I'll put that out there for somebody. You can have that one because I don't want to handle that one. But you know, cheerleaders versus or furry camp furries or something.
Camp furry.
But with this one, it actually isn't attached to any of the other cheerleader movies that are out there. So I know that it has like some elements that might be in there, but there's nothing formally attached to it. So with it, I'm really hoping that it surprises people with some of the things we have going on. It does have elements of other horror movies in there as well, but it's going to be really fun. It does have that comedic element to it. And yes, that's Avery.
I do like a horror movie with good humor. I've watched horror movies where, you know, the humor just doesn't work. And then you get something like Shaun of the Dead. I love. They have one called Cockneys versus Zombies.
Yeah.
I guess a Cockney.
Yeah, I remember that one.
The scene with the zombie baby, I bust up laughing, and then I sat there and realized, oh, I'm going to hell.
Oh my God.
I'm going to hell.
Well, there's a movie called Automative Transfusion, and it was filmed in DeLand. Yeah, it was filmed in DeLand, and some friends of mine were in it, who were zombies. But there's this one part where this girl was pregnant, and it looked so stupid, and the acting was like hilarious. So one of the zombies rips out a baby from this teen girl, and she's just like, "My baby!" It's so bad. Like it wasn't like she says, "My baby."
Do you remember? Is it Feast 2 or was there Feast 3?
There's 3 feasts.
Yeah.
What was the one that had the baby and they like kick it down the sidewalk and they're like jumping from the top of the buildings and stuff? Is that Feast?
I don't know if that was
the
third one or second.
Yeah, that was the second or the third. And you know that Clues. Okay, and I think it's the third one. He's in it. One of his sons directs it, and then one of his other sons in it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a family event.
I think the baby was that the baby that got kicked across the street was his like grandson, Clue Gallagher's grandson. I think. I don't remember. I was just like, what the hell?
That's like, if you laugh at something horrible happening to a baby in a horror movie, even if it's meant to be funny or if it's a zombie thing, you're going to hell.
Hey, well, I was just laughing at her acting. That's all.
No, when it's comedic too, it makes it even easier. You feel less like hellacious. You're like, well, it was funny. It was supposed to be funny, and they made it like crazy. So I don't feel like too bad when it's like very in depth and it's like then you're going into a Serbian film or something like that, and I'm just like,
that was.
I'm not going.
I saw that once and never again. No, like I can handle a lot of stuff, but that movie, no.
I gotta be like literally like tied down. Like you gotta like no, I don't want to do it again. So
I haven't seen it yet, but from what I've heard, I don't want to. So I think I'm gonna go with.
You don't need to. People told me I don't need to see it.
Pass, go, and do not collect. Just keep going.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, because I've been hearing about, not a show I shouldn't see it. I think I'm just gonna go with what's being told to me.
Yeah, well, see, I learned about it. I went on Wikipedia, which I usually would not do to read, the synopsis or read, not even the synopsis. They tell you everything that happens in the movie. And I did read that one before I watched it. So I was like, I didn't even want to watch it. And then at a gathering, I was like, we're going to watch it. I'm like, no. And I didn't have enough rank to say, not to start the movie on the TV. So
yeah, well most trailers these days pretty much give the whole movie away.
They do. They really do.
It's like after seeing the trailer for Pearl and watching Pearl, people had to hear me go off about the Scarecrow scene. She wrote it like a pro. She wrote it like a pro. Porn stars are taking notes. So
I know. I remember when it was like the trailers like, oh, these are the previews, and it literally was like a preview, and they just show you some things. Now it feels like they're like 5 minutes long. It's the entire movie. It's all the best parts of the movie, and they
show the best parts. Yeah.
Like, am I watching the movie? It's very confusing. It feels like you're literally watching a movie, and it keeps going. And you're like, wow, I wish they would have put that would have been shocking to watch in the movie, and then they do it again and again, and so it's like watching a short of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could just go watch the movie, but there
So,
you have it.
also, to go back though, cheerleader camp elimination. I know you're still doing one more week of the Indiegogo for it, and I guess you were going to add some new perks, or you're at the next goal, or how's that going now?
I asked in the group. I wanted to ask the actors and everybody who's in there what they thought, things that they would like to see for the last week. It can't be something we've already had in there, so it has to be something new or something that they would like to add. And we actually had one of the actresses wants to offer doing like some shout outs in uniform from the set, maybe even like a cheer or something. So we might offer something like that, like some personal greetings from set. They were also mentioning maybe if there was like a greeting. It might, I don't know what our schedule. I'm hoping to have, since we actually have a decent amount of pre-production time for this one, I'm hoping to get everything as easy and smooth for the shoot for everybody for scheduling. So I don't know if we could personally have like anybody else come down there unless they are. I was thinking of doing like a music video or something, and if people wanted to like be a part of that, if they that could put that on there, and we could shoot like a fun music video with some people, get some.
What are they going to do? Hey, Mickey, you're so funny.
And do a routine, because that would be funny.
That
Yeah.
does actually sound cool though.
So if anybody
a
wanted
little routine and stuff.
They could.
I had a photo shoot already in there and like a calendar.
Yeah. Well, if we can't
So
do a shout out from the set, like could just do like maybe a Skype call or something. Maybe if anyone wants to do that or whatever. Yeah.
I think
or
even
or extreme, or however they want to do a video chat. However, yeah.
Because it would be kind of cool. We are offering also like uniforms and stuff and props from the costumes too, and we even had a mascot like come down and be a murderer as a mascot, in like be person that's wearing it, and then you get to keep the mascot uniform too. So we're offering a lot of hands-on kind of like pieces of the puzzle, like props and things like that. So I don't think it would be hard to do like the call from set. It would just have to be on the schedule, and then we'll basically, if those actors want to do that, maybe they have like an afternoon or something they're not shooting, and they could like choose that to be their time. So we would have to, whoever got that, we'd have to say it's tentative. We can't tell you, obviously. You'll get the date and time like a week before we shoot, because then I'll have the schedule, and we can know that 2:00 on Tuesday, this actress is going to be free and she'd like to do your video call then. I think that one would work. That was one of the ones I read in there.
Okay.
That I thought was really interesting, that I think people would probably, it's something a little bit different that we could offer. A piece of my hair is like stray now. Stray.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Indigo right now. I'm seeing like a signpost, the Blu-ray, and pretty cool stuff there.
Thank you. Yeah, we didn't want to have like too much going on. We wanted to keep a certain amount of things, just because I want people to have the best experience possible. So everybody that is joining, they're getting written into the actual script, so they'll know where they're going to be. They have interactions with the actual cast that are going to be there too in person. Like it's a dad calling, or a boyfriend, or a parole officer, or and then everyone who's coming to the set, they're going to have their script, the full script, and then they'll have, if they have like everyone that's coming to set will have the full script, and if they're going to be a remote actor, they're going to have their pieces in the next week or so. I should be done with all those. So before the campaign's even over, everybody that has supported and come on board and joined the team will know what they're doing, and they actually know where they're going to be in the movie, what they're doing, why they're there, like what is the purpose of this character, instead of waiting until we get a little closer, so that they know what they're getting when they do join the team, and they get put on the IMDb. You get a character name, and you're there with us. You may not be there in person, but cliche cheerleader terms, you're there in spirit. So
in spirit, no pun intended.
Pun intended. So, but yeah, we have this, but it's been amazing. I love everybody that's come on board. It's a lot of new people, but it's also so many people that I've worked with before, and a lot of them are going to be there in person, which is new. Exactly. See, Cody, I work with Cody, but he's going to be there in person this time. So with this location, we have people that have the availability to come out and really be there in person. So that to
Like
me,
same
I'm
thing with me. I'm no longer remote. I'll be going too. So look,
exactly.
it's going to be fun. I'm
So
looking forward to
that's
it.
a little information for everybody that's watching. That if you're there in person, you literally you're there and you're an integral part of it and a real moving piece to what's going on. I know I talked to another person last night and they're super excited. They're really invested in their death. So I mean, everybody just really loves to have creative deaths, and that's something else that with this funding, I'm going to be able to do something pretty spectacular with what I'm building for that. And with the time and the amount of research and heads up I'm able to get with this time period that I'm taking, because we've done it before where we filmed right away. And if you don't have it already set up like perfectly, it gets a little hard to make it as fluid as I would like it to be. So, yeah, we've been able to do really great. It's been a lot of support, and I I'm very overwhelmed with it. But I mean, every day I wake up and everybody has such nice things to say. So it's really motivating, especially for I've done assistant directing, and I've filmed a couple scenes here and there. I've done pretty much every bit behind the scenes, with sound and lighting, wardrobe, makeup. I've done some very light effects. And so this is going to be really amazing to have the ability to be behind the camera for the whole duration and be able to figure out exactly how I want it to look and make it happen. So for everybody that's with your belief and support, it really means a lot to me for you guys to do this with me. And my birthday is in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, so it's a huge birthday present for me too. So thank you.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
What was I going to say? What were the shows? You were in Burn Notice and The Glaze. Which episodes were you in? Yeah.
I would have to go look. I have to look them up on my IMDb. I was just an extra on those. With Dr. G, I was more featured, and I was in two, but I never saw the second one. The first one, I was a wife, and I'm pretty prominent in that one. And then I was in Swamp Wars, where I was in one of the segments. And again, I guess the episode numbers are on my IMDb, I think. But I was prominent in that one. I actually got to go shoot in a hospital. I didn't die this time, but I did get bit by a snake. And they did put the tubes. I said, go ahead, just put the tubes up my nose and down my throat and everything.
Yeah, that's got to be an uncomfortable experience.
I was tired, so I just slept, honestly. It was a long drive. And then, all worked up. I don't know. I haven't seen it forever. You can't even find those episodes anymore. I know the numbers on there, but that one, I was a waitress and the bail bondsman was coming after me, and we filmed at a real diner, and it was like 4 o'clock, so it was an early bird type of deal, and the people didn't know what was going on. We were filming, and it was all improv. You were just told, here's the scenario, and I was like, can I cuss? Like, what do I do? Like, do you want real authenticity for this? I'm supposed to be like, I think I did a hit and run or something. I'm not supposed to be like this great person, obviously, if the bail bondsman's chasing me. So I'm screaming at him, throwing things. We're running through the whole diner. I hide in the meat locker and I'm like trying to like fight him off. And I like roll on the ground. He's like, fight me on the ground. And he had to drag me out of there. And I guess people were so offended. They were asking for their money back and everything. So I was like, oh, they told, I mean, it's like what was that one? I think it was True TV.
Okay, for Burn Notice, it was season 5, episode 6. Enemy of my enemy, Thug Girl.
Okay.
And let's see, what the other one was? Glades.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 11, Beach.
Okay.
Waitress.
Got it. So those two were really, those were more background, and then the other ones were more featured. And I think you can find them, except for All Worked Up. The episode number is there, and if you go on YouTube and go, they have other segments for other parts of this episode, but I can't find mine anywhere. which makes me sad.
Yeah, you've even done music videos, I see.
Yeah, I've done a few of those too, and I also did the MTV Movie Awards or Music Awards. One of them that I don't know, they don't really do them anymore. I don't know if they
They
do them
just did
at
one.
all.
Yeah, they just did one. I think earlier this year for the movies.
Uh-huh.
So because I was
I
talking to
think they
somebody,
did
I
it
looked it up.
I think they did it with like live from home or something. Everybody was at home still, I think. But for this, it was just a commercial, and I was featured in the one with Lil Wayne, but I was there the day they filmed for Britney Spears. So that was the person
Who is
at their
back in
house.
the news? Have you seen?
I saw the video too of what actually happened.
Yeah, what they were saying that she
It's
went
like,
to tap on his shoulder or something, and one of the security guards pushed her away, and she smacked herself or something, an accident.
no, his hand flew back. I saw in the video, he
Oh, it
literally, like, she was standing there and I couldn't even see her tap. I just saw his hand like, and just like smack her. And it was like, I just, yeah, I'm not
Poor
happy
woman. She's just
about.
basically every time you hear about her, someone's they can't just leave her alone. They got to post something bad happening with her.
Yeah, I mean, she's gone through so much. She was very, very nice that day. I didn't personally talk to her. She was just a few feet away. And then she was just very nice to everybody, very like, thank you for being here and all that. But that one you could see me in it as well. Pretty good with that blue hair. I mean, it
I
was
was gonna say the blue hair, right? We'll spot you
I mean,
that.
it's back kind of. I gotta touch it up, but it's
So you
blue
need
hair.
a role. You want to stick out in a movie as an extra? Get blue hair.
That's it. Blue
Yeah,
hair.
or don't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could have been featured more if I didn't have it. I have no idea, but it's
I
fun.
think
I
it
still
makes
like
you
the
stick.
fun
It makes
colors.
you stick out more, and people kind of will pay pay attention, like you're watching and go, hey, wait a minute, what's that person right there with that blue hair? It's gonna draw their attention.
Yep.
I miss my red though. Like I might go back to red. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure it out for my birthday. It's a big birthday, so I'm kind of like,
Go
well,
for the I Love Lucy red.
oh my gosh.
I,
I
I the first time I tried to bleach my hair, that's what came out as I Love Lucy red, and my dad, my late father, nonstop was telling me I love Lucy red.
it is iconic though. It's super iconic. So you definitely know when you say that, everybody knows what you're talking about for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just need your
Um,
Ricky Ricardo. Lucy, I'm home.
Usually I'm mom.
So everyone knows what you're talking about when you do that too.
Let's see if there's anything.
You should zonk out again.
Oh, it was that
It was-
beer he drank, right?
It was. You saw him back there, and he was partying. He was like dancing.
And then he fell over. Like,
Yeah, he's flat now. He's just asleep on the floor. He got into some excitement when somebody walked by. He got to bark. You've seen like basically how he lives his day. This is what he does.
bark,
Those,
sleep,
those videos that people would do with the audio going, name one person who lives in your house rent free. What do? They show a video of the dog.
I have a TikTok of him doing that. I think, and if I don't, I probably need to make one. I just made my hair crazier.
Yeah.
It's hard looking at it like a camera, but it's like reversed, so it's hard to like
Yeah.
figure out which side. But I will have to take him out in a little bit again because he didn't. He got distracted. So I think that he's also dreaming of that right now too.
Well, hopefully while he's dreaming, he's not doing it while he's dreaming.
I watched a video
yeah,
of this
so upset.
woman. I watched a video of this woman. She has a pit bull. Won't do anything she tells the dog to do, even when she walks. Yeah. But when grandma comes over,
That's how
dog's
grandmas are,
out. The dog lets the grandmother walk her. Grandma's the center of the world, but won't do what mama says.
That's how grandmas are though. Even with kids, it's like they're basically like they're the good one, and they get all the good pieces. They get all like the good pieces of the day and the nice visit and all the fun. And then when it's over, it's just like, here you go.
It's like, take it. I did want to ask you about the embalmers. When did you meet Rebecca and Rob? How'd you get involved in that one?
Oh my gosh.
And I know you've worked with Rebecca a couple times, I think, but I don't know if that was first or.
Oh man, what was the first freaking movie that we worked on together? I can't even remember, but that was really fun because she was directing for that one, and I got to work with a lot of people that I really loved working with, and like one of my good friends, Andrea Collins, who will be in Cheerleader Camp Elimination. So that was a really good experience to be able and have the opportunity to do that. But we worked on a couple things together, and she's super cool. And I know that she's continued on to be directing her own features as well. And she has a lot of things coming up. And you should get her on here. You should
Oh, I've
definitely.
had her on a couple of
You have
times,
had her on here. Okay.
and Raw. I've had Rob on too a couple of
Then
times.
you
Yeah.
could have
I
four
wanna-
squares too.
Yeah, I want to know whose idea was it to have the kid dress up as Alice Cooper, because that was awesome.
She, that girl, her name's Johnny Shandor, and she does that at
You mean
convention.
the kiss, not Alice Cooper? It was Gene Simmons, I think.
It was
Yeah.
Alice Cooper when he's in the yard
I
in
thought.
Obama.
She does both.
Okay, so she
She
does
does.
both. I was like, wait a minute, I thought it was kid, but okay. Yeah.
Well, she did both. I don't know if she still does it, but she has a lot of different looks. So she, those are two of her biggest looks that she does.
I think it was
So
awesome
that's
though.
just her thing that she loves to do, and they just wanted to really showcase that for her because, I mean, hell, she does it so well.
Yeah.
And that movie, she was really great. It was a great story with what they did with her character. So I know that that has to be something that she's always going to be really proud of. Like everybody's really proud of it, and I think that Johnny has really taken off too. I think she's even during the pandemic, she was doing her own movies on Skype. She was like making her own movies and directing. So I think she's got directorial credits too. And I don't know how old she is now, but you know, she's still very, very young. She's just killing
Might
it.
have to try to get in touch with her mom or have Rebecca
You
talk to her
should.
mom and see if they could. Yeah. So.
You actually
Yeah, I
really
mean,
should. That would be
There
great. She's
was
great.
there was a girl. I think they did a little documentary about who made like a caveman type movie. This is like years ago. I just can't remember. Can't remember the name of the documentary or the movie she did. And I think she was barely a teenager, and she was doing this.
Yeah, it's crazy how when somebody has a love for it very young, they have so many opportunities to learn and create, and it just builds and builds and builds. And I mean, at any point where you feel the love and the call for it, you should definitely go for it. But it is kind of cool when you're able to have the right people around you to cultivate that interest when you are young, and especially when you're like a kid and you still have that crazy imagination and you're not thinking about your bills or thinking about other things. Like you can just go full on into cultivating that
Yes.
side.
How am I gonna, okay, I got this camera. What friends am I gonna have help me, and how am I gonna do this scene?
Exactly. And then you also don't have that rejection fear. You don't have that resources, like, oh, we got to have the best resources fear. You just have that, we're going to do it. We're going to make it out of sticks. We're going to make it out of paper plates. You just do whatever you can get your hands on and do it. And you just want to do it and you're happy with the experience. So that quality, it's really incredible to be able to have that and hold on to it. Just like, I wish I had the stories that I wrote when I was a kid. I wish I had even one of them to read it from that perspective when I just wasn't even thinking. I hadn't even really seen that many movies. It was just I was watching them for the first time and they were inspiring me. I'd love to go back and watch Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time with never have seen it, stuff like that.
If you haven't seen it in a long time, you can almost like, you're revisiting it, and so maybe kind of bring up memories and new memories and stuff.
It does. It really, for sure. That's why I will watch the same movies over and over again. I don't get tired of them. And
like I hadn't seen the movie High Spirits, which is
I've heard of that one.
Liam Neeson, by the way, stills the whole movie. He's funny as hell in it and stuff, but I hadn't seen it in years, and then I rewatched it like a few months ago, and it was like I was like a teenager probably when I saw it, and it was like, oh my god, it's like the first time seeing it again.
Yeah. See, that's priceless too. When you can find one and you get that feeling, there's nothing like it, where you can watch one and you do have that authentic just a very vague memory at best, or you're kind of like watching it and you're seeing all these things and you forgot about it. So it's almost like having it's close as you're going to get to watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
So that's why I will always watch things again and be excited about them, especially when I can show it to someone who hasn't seen it. Though then you're living through them. You're like, yeah, see, watch this movie. You're gonna be excited, and that's also a great opportunity too.
I mean, yeah, I'm also one of those ones that every year it seems now I have one movie. I see it once, and then you can't get me to shut up for the rest of the year about it. Everyone had to put up last year with me talking about Death to Metal. This year it's been She Comes from the Woods. Nothing's topped it yet.
Well, see, when you have that excitement too, I mean, that's another reason why I love horror movies so much is, like you said, when you see something like that and it just sparks that, again, like childlike love where you're like, wow, this is so freaking cool. How did they do this? I wasn't expecting that. It gives you what you're looking for. And when it's something that you're so passionate about that you're going to keep bringing it up and you have that excitement, that's what it's all about. And that's, I think that's what everybody wants to create when they are making films too, is you want people to have that feeling when they watch your movies or something that you were in. So, as a viewer, as a horror fan, first and foremost, that's definitely something that I love too. And I'm the same way. When I find one of those movies, those diamond movies, that's definitely, I won't, forget about them. I'll be able to bring them up quite often as well. It's great. It's great. That's one thing that we love about this community, that we can have these conversations and be on the same page about it and understand where everybody's coming from with that love and that passion.
Is there anyone that you would like to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
That's a good one.
I actually don't know, because I love a lot of the people that I have worked with already. So I don't really, it's kind of like when it falls into place, I'm happy to work with people, but I don't view someone per se as I specifically have to work with that person, or I'm going to seek them out, or I want that. There's people that I enjoy their work and I enjoy their art and that I would like to work with, but I can't really say that I think about anybody specifically that I'm like, oh my God, this has to happen. This is somebody I really want to work with. I kind of keep it where it's more so what I'm focused on and what I'm working with, and I know who's around. And I guess Mel Heflin is one of the people I would say that I have the opportunity to work with that's coming up, that I've been in films with her, but we haven't been like really there together. So she's someone that I'm really excited about working with. But as far as like just naming somebody and saying I wish that I could get them, and I really, that's a bucket list to work with, I don't really know per se, because I already kind of have a lot of people that I love working with already. So
Right. So yeah, I know I watched Teacher Shortage Day, so I know you and Mel were both in that one, but not in the same scenes though. So
I wish we were in the same scenes, but that's a great movie, and that was shot in Texas. I think that was probably it was my second time coming to Texas. My first time was I was a guest at Austin. That was like a Comic-Con in Austin. But we shot that in Texas, Teacher Shortage. And that was a really fun movie. I'm super proud of that movie. That has also some really great death scenes in it, and a really cool cast. Like a lot of really great people worked on that one too. But she was definitely part of that. And since then, I kind of worked close by where she was, or in something where she was also in it, but not at the same time. So it just ended up working out. I reached out to her and I'm like, hey, would you be interested? Are you here? Are you able to come out for this one? So I was really excited that she's able to do it. And she's really, she's going to have like a really cool character. I think people will be really happy when they see what she does in it. So
nice. Yeah, when I had her on the show, she was still over in Japan. So it was like, had to get the time.
I didn't know.
Oh yeah, the whole international thing, you got to get everything to line up. I call it time zone math.
Yes.
You got to figure out, okay, if it's here at this time, it's over at your time, it's that right now, it's over there, okay, it's 6 here, 12 there, they're just like, okay, let's line it up.
I had to do that today. I was asking him, I'm like, instead of saying, okay, what time zone, I just ask, what time is it where you are? And then I can figure it out from there.
Yeah,
Because
that's the easiest way to do time zone math. Instead of have the other way, if you don't do it, then you're just like subtract this and multiply that, divide that, and
well, then I have
if you don't like math,
to. I'm like, what time zone am I in? And then I'll forget. And so I just ask. It's easier to be like, okay, well, what time is it where you are? And what time do you know, what time would work best for you? So, oh, it's okay, it's 9 there. Well, it's 8 here,
Yeah.
that's
So that's
the easiest. You just gotta remember that. You just gotta remember like when it comes to more when the international ones, just tell them you add the AM or the PM.
Yeah. Oh my
Because
gosh.
otherwise, if you say it's 9, they say it's 8. No, it's an hour difference. No, it's like
PM.
11 hours.
Yeah. I forget what time it was when Mel did it, but I know it was like in the morning for her. And I was like, you sure? And she's like, it's fine. And I'm like, all right, well, if that time works for you, then whatever. So.
No, I mean, some people are able to do it. I was in New York before, and then coming here and then trying to learn the time zones. I'm still kind of, now I have to learn what's the difference between California and New York and here. And then kind of keeping track. And then there's another time zone out there. So I was just like, I'm not going to learn
I'm
this
so
today.
so used to how we have it in America. We have what Pacific time, Mountain time, Central time, and Eastern
Yeah.
time. But then when you start going further and further, it starts to get a little bit different, and that's when that time zone math comes in. And my usual line is, "Don't make me do math. I hate math."
Yeah, math is not my strong point. I'm not a fan entirely of it. I can make friends with it when I need to, but I'm not like the
In
best.
elementary, I was really good at math. In elementary, that's only because I hated it that much. As I got older, I got bad at it, but as a kid, I was super good at it because I hated math.
Well, see, it's a love-hate then. It's like it kind of like you were good at it, but you didn't like it. And so it was almost like a cruel joke. It's like, okay, well, I'm great at it, but I really, really would rather be doing anything else.
Yeah.
But in Teacher Shortage, you were in with another Scream icon in that movie.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And you said
Yeah.
Debbie Rashawn, and that's a name. Because I was sitting back, because I remember hearing her name, Brinks, and there was some others in there. I'm going, I don't hear Debbie Rashawn's name that much anymore like I used to years ago. It's a shame.
She's still working. I think she's working on something right now. I just saw. But she's amazing. She's a really, really great person. And she's someone that the few times that I've been able to work with her on something that she was working on. No, we don't. We're not in Long Island anymore. We are in Texas. But with the amount of people we're flying out from Long Island and New York, it's kind of like we're bringing it here. So it's like we're bringing a mini part of that area out here. So, but it's,
And whenever I think of New York, that old salsa commercial pops into my head when I think about New York.
New York City.
yeah. Oh, beans.
I don't know why that pops in my head.
Was it Bush's Babies? No, that's the one with the dog, and the dog has the
Duke or whatever. It's like, dude. No. And it's where those cowboys
Oh,
were around the fire
Bush,
and they're talking
Bush
about this.
beans. Like, who's giving out the secrets? Duke.
Exactly. But I do remember New York City.
Yeah.
But and McDonald's, not McDonald's, Burger King has the scariest person they need to make a horror movie about. Is that Burger King? The King.
Oh, the King. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, if I rolled over and he was just standing there with food, people in Japan would be hearing me scream.
I think I would take the food, but because I kind of like their food sometimes.
Somebody in the horror community had to come up with that one.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way to do it, I mean, he's pretty scary. I don't know. I mean, a lot of them, they kind of made Ronald McDonald a little less scary with the 80s one and the 70s. I mean, it's, there were different times where those were real scary. I mean, obviously they did a spinoff on Chuck E. Cheese because those were real scary at one point too.
Yeah.
But
of course, there was the Noid.
Oh, the Noid. Oh my gosh, I remember that.
I grew up in Virginia Beach, and on one of the side of the buildings on the boardwalk in Virginia Beach had a great big mural of him. in the late 80s,
Why?
early 90s.
Why did they do that?
All I can say is it's Virginia Beach in the late 80s, early 90s.
They
They had a big wooden King Kong outside of one of the amusement parks that someone set on fire. And this thing was like 20 feet tall, wood, and someone set it on fire.
Well, that's scary.
They also had an inflatable King Kong, again in Virginia.
There's a lot going on.
There's things called rednecks and alcohol and guns. There's a reason why the inflatable Godzilla didn't last that long. You always hear Godzilla's down. Well, I wonder how much booze they had this time.
Grimace, though, Cody was saying about Grimace. Grimace, yeah. Grimace, I don't know. He made a comeback and now he's gone again.
Because it was for his birthday. I forgot about him.
I forgot until this was the Shake thing, and then now he's gone already.
And it was him, Ronald, the Hamburglar, the mayor, and the thing we can't remember. What was the name of the chicken girl? Or whatever she was.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Crap, what was her name? I can't remember what her name was, but I know what you're talking about. She had like the pigtails, and she had like a scarf.
Yeah, because look, hey, most restaurants had one gimmick, one character. Well, Jack in the Box had Jack, and now we have him and his son.
I haven't even seen that. Loki.
Jack, Birdie, Cody said.
Birdie, okay.
Jack, the Jack in the Box is those red balls. No, the white like balls people would put on like antennas and stuff. Put a little yellow nose on it and a little hat.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. No, I do know. He has a son?
In one of the new commercials, they have like he's changing a tire and he takes his coat off and Jack's apparently ripped. And his son's sitting there being lazy while his dad's changing the thing. I'm going, damn, Jack's jacked.
That's such a random thing for them to like put together. It's so weird. Like marketing is just super weird sometimes because somebody has to sit there and come up with all this and think, okay, well, what are we going to do? This is how we're going to market to our younger audience or whatnot, you know, with our mascots, I guess.
Hey, gaming has the best ones ever. Video gaming has the best one ever. You can get a lifetime supply of free games from Bethesda, was it? If you name your kid after a character from some video game, from Skyrim.
Wow.
Someone did it on the day the game was released.
I mean, yeah, why not? If they've got a new baby, it's up for grabs.
But it's like Draconian or whatever is the kid's name. At least they gave him a normal like middle name like Tom or something. His first name's like Draconian or something like that.
What are you doing? He's like eating something off. He's trying to tell me he's hungry. He's eating something random off the floor.
This is like
back there.
So no one frequents Jack in the Box. Or Jack
yeah,
in the
he's thinking of Jack in the Box.
In Washington State, they had a scare back in the 90s at Jack in the Box. E. coli.
Oh my God.
They had E. coli. And E. coli breakout in the Jack in the Box here. So afterwards, they had to put up with people going, I'll take an E. coli shake, an E. coli burger, and E. coli fries. And that was the thing to do. I can imagine the person at the drive-thru just like rolling the eyes, like
just wanting to go home.
I want a new job.
That's terrible. I mean, there's like the urban legends about fingers and the Wendy's chilies. I think was another one, and like the rats in it and stuff too. I think most restaurants at some point have had like a weird urban legend, but that's something that actually, what you're talking about sounds like it actually really happened too, which is really terrible.
But still, we have a restaurant in Seattle called Dick's. We
have a sports store called Dick's.
Yeah, well, the joke is to go up and order a milkshake in a lisp and ask for an extra thick milkshake. And last time I was there, I'm trying to eat my hamburger, and someone did that. I had to stop eating because I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, that's pretty funny that you're sitting there eating and people, people, they come up with like the funniest things to amuse themselves. So basically, I mean, at least it makes light of it. It's
just watch a good movie instead.
Different.
sorry, watch a bad movie instead. That'd be more entertaining.
No, it's true.
What's funny is I forget where it is, but there's a place actually called Dirty Dick's, and then they have crabs there. They sell crabs, and some people are like, crabs at Dirty it's a restaurant and they have crabs. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like.
And they have crabs.
And they're like, they have a sign that says, yes, we have crabs or something like that. I'm like, oh
See,
my
at least that's their gimmick too. It's like literally like that's their marketing. It's kind of like what is the one where they yell at you?
I
There's
was
one
saying
where
they say they insult you
yell
the
at
whole
you.
time or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, well they do that. And then there's Heart Attack Grill that's in Vegas where you have the nurses and they have like the scale outside and they have like the burger that's like 20 patties deep or something. It's crazy what again, all goes back to marketing, but the one with the crabs gets me though. That's like so up the wall. Like
Is that the
who thought of
one
it?
where if you don't finish, they spank you?
Probably. I'd
I've
imagine
heard
that.
something like that. There is a place. Yeah.
It sounds about right. There was also a German place. I forget what it's called, but they have like the ladies that come out with the paddles and stuff too, and it's like, I mean, you're just sitting there, you're eating, and it's just like, all right, do your thing. That's it's all in entertainment. It's all in the experience of going and eating. It takes it to the next level.
Gotta draw
When they
somebody
have-
in. You gotta draw somebody in, so that's gonna do that. Because I'd go there just have a little to eat and watch the show.
Exactly. Well, like people's birthdays or something like that. It's people get crazy.
Hooters.
So.
Hooters was good for birthdays because we had a kid. They told him that I forget how old the kid was. He had to be older than 21. They told him he had to sing. I think it was like put a bucket on his head and sing "Happy Birthday." But if he didn't, he had to buy everybody in the bar who was 21 or older a beer.
Oh no!
So of course he got me and the others going, "Don't sing, don't sing, don't sing!" And damn it, we sung.
It's crazy when you go to restaurants and they all do something for birthdays, and usually it's singing or bringing out something for free. But some of them get really like invasive. What is that one? But they like really crowd around you and they're like clapping and screaming. It's like so.
It's so annoying. You have to have that when they clap.
Well, I know that in some
Yeah.
Mexican restaurants, I think they do that. In some Mexican restaurants I've been to, where they do that little clapping to the little Spanish song and happy birthday to you. Which
It's
is why
really scary. Like when you're older, like you just don't want that attention. I mean,
that's why if I'm in a restaurant on my birthday, the first thing you hear is, "Don't you dare."
Don't do it.
Well, there's like what I forget where it was, but they're like, "Are you one? Are you two?" And they count all the way up to whatever your age is.
Oh God!
No, that could be a
somebody
while.
somebody turned 70 and they're gotta count to 70. That's gonna be embarrassing for that person.
Yeah, I would not want that to happen. I really wouldn't. I mean, it's fun when they give you like a hat or a crown or like something like that. It's fun, but
Hey, when I
I just like my free food on my birthday. Just give me the free stuff. Whatever.
I'll be doing that in a few weeks. I'm going to prepare a list.
Some places here don't do that anymore.
Well, at Denny's, you get a free Grand Slam at. I'm sure there's Denny's in Texas.
There's one right by here, I think, too. Or it's either that or IHOP. I don't know. I think there's one nearby. Every year I look, I'm free. You get a free movie ticket from AMC. I mean, I know I will take free things. It's good.
Damn it! Why don't I got an AMC here?
But there's a lot of places. There's other theaters that will do it too. You just have to kind of like Google like free shit on my birthday or whatever. We
had one place I used to be able to go and get a free steak, but because of the pandemic and the prices, the inflation, the prices of meat, they had to stop doing that because it was costing them too much just to buy the whole bunch of meat. So I think they switched over from doing a lot of beef products to do more chicken.
Yeah,
it was expensive.
No, I could see that happening, and when you have, I mean, here there's no shortage. I mean, it's very meat heavy out here. It's great with like different sauces and rubs and different ways to prepare meat. They take meat very seriously here. But yeah, I would imagine like if you have something especially that is a gimmick, you're going to run out of it because it's going to be first and foremost, unless you have a really good constant supply, you have to make sure that you're not giving it away for free or giving it away easily, because that's going to be what people are, the majority of why they're there in the first place. This little fly is just, he's driving me crazy.
In Virginia, they had one, its gimmick was that you could see, they would hang the cows, after they've been all prepped and ready. They've been skinned and all beheaded and all that stuff and gutted.
Oh my God.
Prepping the meat before they go and make a hamburger or your steak, which they would also let you, because you turn around, there's the You can look into the butcher thing, whatever.
And you just
And then
point
you
it,
look,
I want that.
yeah, and then you look the other way, yeah, and they're cooking your meat. So like,
Oh my God. That's you. I mean, I like meat. I don't, have any. I was raised a vegetarian for a while when I was younger, but I don't want to like look at what's happening or anything like that. I don't want to watch it go down. I just want it cooked from where I don't have to.
I enjoyed it because I was
They can be better.
I enjoyed it again. I was a little boy at the time, and little boys kind of like the gross things.
Well, yeah. It'd be like shocking, especially for a kid to be like, wow. I mean, it does. It's very horror movie-esque. I wonder if they ever shot any footage of doing that.
Well, they actually did
Because some
shoot a
people will
movie.
get for I don't know if they do it anymore with health codes and everything like that.
Yeah.
But people would back in the day get actual stuff from butchers to use on the films for horror movies to
Yeah,
get
yeah, Day
like
of the
that.
Dead, and what was it?
Rotten.
The freezer broke down, the fridge broke down or something, or someone left it open for the original Day of the Dead.
I can't even imagine.
So that scene where they're supposed to be ripping the guy apart at the end, they were having to smell all that rotten meat.
I just really, it would be the end of me. I would not make it through that. I would be, I mean, it would really, I don't think I could do it. I think that I would
Yeah.
be, you get a
It's-
lot of real, very real vomiting from me for that one.
Yeah, his closing line was supposed to be him going, choke on it, choke on it. It wouldn't be choke on it, choke on it, choke on it.
Yeah,
Kind of thing.
I'd be done for. Just like really bad smells and stuff like that. I can't deal with it. I love food.
Kyle was saying we were talking about the restaurants, but you did mention some place in Texas, and he was just saying how you guys like it there since you recently moved there. It's,
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. No, we really love it here. It's been a lot of work. We haven't gotten to go out too much and look around and everything, but the places that we have gone have been really cool. Really great food. People are really nice. So yeah, we really love it here, and we're excited to start working on filming out here and getting a team down here of people together, as well as the people that we'll bring down here to visit. I know, I see your toy.
You must have a lot of locations you've seen down there that have probably been like, hey, I want to shoot something there.
Yeah. Well, it's just too hot right now for us to go location scouting. So I'm having to do it through the websites,
But
location
hey,
websites.
there is a castle down there in Texas. I don't know what part. I've
Gotcha.
seen that there's a thing called One True King or OTK, which you can find them on YouTube. They've shot at that castle. They filmed little bits at that castle. It's an actual castle out there. That's
Wow.
I
That's
just
crazy.
don't know where. I've heard that it's it's somewhere in Texas, but it's down there.
I've seen a lot of places online that look really interesting. Before it got super hot, we did go to a couple different parks. We're by a lake, like a giant lake. So we found some really cool places like that are woodsy that would be good for like a camp kind of look to it. So we might maybe at least shoot some stuff like that to get just that location captured. I don't know about how we still have to, we haven't even gotten a chance to look and see how you go about getting a permit and asking for permission and stuff like that. So we have to figure that out still. But we did find a couple places pretty close by that looked good. But then the weather started to get super hot, and we have not been able to go back out and really walk around and do that.
It's
Waterfall,
weird.
cool stuff.
We in the Pacific Northwest, we were getting a lot of that heat that you guys are getting now. It's like it's like just all that smoke out there on the East Coast. We got that, which is why I was sitting on Twitter going, "Hey, East Coast, you want some tips from Washington State? This is what you got to do."
Yeah, the weather's been crazy. Like,
oh yeah,
it's just everywhere. But we did have like a few weeks when we first got here to look around a little bit. But Houston's going to be where we're filming most of this film of Cheerleader Camp Elimination. So we do have some people out there that are scouting and helping us. It's just we can't really go look until it's going to have to be like a virtual tour or something until it gets a little bit better. Because
apparently there are several castles in Texas
are going to be too hot. That probably, I don't know. I think He's going crazy back there. I was like, what is that?
And another thing is, I remember this from Virginia because we had this in Virginia, and I saw this in South Carolina. There's a lot of old like forts and other structures too, probably in Texas.
Yeah, I mean that would be amazing to have too. And even if it's not for this one, I kind of need something a little bit ruined looking for part of it. But I definitely need like campgrounds, cabin type, or at least not super modern for some of it.
This
And I
looks
definitely need land. I need some land. I need some good space on land. But we have people that are down there or from there that are looking. And as soon as I know exactly what we're working with and kind of have everything finalized, I'll be able to give them the green light to really give me those numbers of what we're going to look at to get those secured and what's going to work best. Now that I have a better understanding of who's coming, what we're doing, and the bigger picture of what we want to create with it. Because it started as one thing, and as it always does, it's turned into more going on, more intricate stuff happening, because the more that you're able to get people involved, the bigger you can make it to an extent. You don't want to make it too big or make it too off the general course, but we've been able to do some really fun stuff. So now I can add a couple more locations than originally thought to be.
hell.
So
There's a famous bed and breakfast down there. Hey, there's a famous bed and breakfast down there you can shoot at. I don't know if it's still open. There's such a famous bed and breakfast, where there used to be a chainsaw family
I
that lived there.
know. I gotta go there. I really want to go there, and I believe they serve barbecue there. So
that would be an interesting place though to shoot a scene in. And just be like,
I'm sure it would be like crazy expensive to do it, but I don't know.
is that
I have
gas
no
station?
idea, but that would be super cool. I just want to go there as a fan and as a person, as like a spectator, to just a tourist, what have you, to just have fun and check it out. But I'm sure that there are other locations that are similar to it that might be a little more movable with what they would allow for filming and pricing and stuff like that too. So that's on my list, because you always got to have like a weird place where people stop along the way. They can never get to their destination without some kind of issue and somebody warning them that they probably shouldn't go, right? So
Yeah, like if you do Texas, just have them stop at a little gas station and
yeah,
have a chili sign out on it, and see who figures out the reference when they watch the movie. If they can figure out the reference, Texas at a gas station selling chili, I don't get it. And
exactly.
everyone else be going, I get it.
The bus on the way to the camp stops to get gas there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
chili.
It would just be like instantaneous. Like some people wouldn't get it, like why they do this, and everyone else be like,
I love Easter eggs too. I always am asking when I'm creating some of the roles with people that is there something like an Easter egg you want to put in, or is there something you like to see that's like a fun reference, to throw in that your character could have fun with. So just so that they can go ha ha ha, and like it just makes people smile. So I definitely want to have a lot of that in this one too.
There was one movie, I can't remember the name of it. All the characters' names were references to people like Romero, Carpenter, but I can't remember what movie that was. All the characters.
I just watched had that going on. The heck did I just watch that had that? I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember what it was though. Something I just watched.
Like all of them, I think there was like a king or something in there, and you just like, and I didn't notice at first until I was like, someone was breaking it down, and they started saying, by the way, look at these names. It's like, wow, I didn't notice that. That's kind of cool.
Yep. No, and that is fun. Hi, Loki.
I think there was one
same thing like Child's Play. His name's Charles Lee Ray, so you got all the killers in there. So
that's true. No, it's always fun to break down the movies too and see what they did, because a lot of times you'll find a lot of stuff in there like that, and also a lot of inside jokes between the cast, and the team can be found, which is fun when everybody looks back to the behind the scenes. I got to make sure we get a good behind the scenes recorded for this one too. I'll make sure that we have somebody there that's recording the whole thing so we can get a really good behind the scenes from it all, because there's going to be a crazy group of people there. It's going to be really fun though.
Yeah, I've seen the cast list, and then you added a new cast member too from Hills Have Eyes and Welcome Back, Caller, and what's her name again? I forget offhand what her name is.
Susan Lanier.
That's
So
right.
we announced her today, and we're talking to another actor in like 2 or 3 days, and then I still have our leading lady that I haven't announced yet because I need to get some more stuff over to her. And we have a couple people that I've reached out to that I'm waiting to find out. So I would say before the campaign is over, we'll have at least another 1 or 2 people announced. And then over the next few months, we'll be announcing people. So there's going to be a few more people added that we weren't able to, given the time that we were doing this part, just this part of the pre-production. But this happened to fall while we were still doing the campaign portion, so that people would have that information to know. But as I keep securing people, there's a few that are just super busy, and it's not going to get locked down in one day. So you'll
Right.
probably, over the next few months, you'll hear a few more people get put on there that are really, really exciting. So fingers crossed that those people work out. But hopefully we'll have another announcement next week to add to, if people are in the Facebook group, or if you're just stopping by the campaign and then you're just checking out the other forms of media where you can learn about the movie. So
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I'm excited.
So let's see, almost a couple hours here, but one questions I always ask: what's something fans may not know about you, whether interest or talents, hobbies, whatever you would like to share?
I don't know. I don't really, it's very weird like talking about myself self. Um, I don't know always kind of like what to say as far as like what people like don't know. Um, I'm just me. I'm me. I'm pretty easygoing, easy to talk to. I love these movies. I love horror. Was that me or you guys?
It wasn't me.
Oh, that was mine, I think.
I
Yeah.
was like, it's not haunting. Um, I love haunted locations. I collect music boxes and snow globes. I mean,
Music boxes.
um,
That's an interesting one.
yeah. I mean, I'm just a Julie. I'm just me, and that's, I don't know exactly anything super like involved. What can we expect from cheerleader elimination? Well, I explained a little bit of it.
Lots of death.
I I think that I don't want to give too much more away than what I already explained about it, but you can expect that it's going to be
Just
really
don't
bloody.
make just don't make a trailer that gives the whole movie away.
Oh, I promise I'm not gonna do that. So you can expect a lot of blood, you can expect a lot of laughs, you can expect some good fights. We're gonna have some great kills. Again, we talked about how much I love that kind of deaths. You can expect Steven, you can expect Cody, you can you can expect me to be up at 5 a.m. doing everything I can to make it flow really well. And you can expect that I'm going to be, making this the best experience for everybody who's on board. And it's going to be something that everyone is going to have a lot of fun with. It'll have nostalgia, but it's definitely going to be its own thing. And it's going to be something that is brutally fresh, but it's going to have that feel to it that people are wanting from this kind of a movie. So
I
I
like
wouldn't
I like the
necessarily.
movie. That movie. One of the things I like about that movie, she comes from the woods. It takes
Yeah,
place. It takes place in the '80s,
yeah.
and it was. I feel it was able to kind of capture that feel when I watched it.
This isn't going to be per se in a time period. I'm not going to really date it per se. I'm not going to go out of my way to like hide certain things that might, but it's not going to be like a film that's going to be particularly aged into anything, and it's not going to be like an 80s style film. Um, if anything, maybe it might have like a little bit of early 2000s or 90s to it. But I think the nostalgia that will be in there is just pieces of horror movies that I love and that I find to be really interesting that fit with the story and things that other people might agree with. That would be the nostalgia that you would pull off and feel when you're watching it, and that's what I'm hoping to convey. But it's definitely not going to be like an 80s film or try to be something with
Yeah,
its own time
the
period.
'80s is when we had those camp movies, and then they brought them back tried to bring them back a few years ago. They had late
Yeah.
90s, early 2000s. They were trying to bring them back.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of great ones though. I mean, there's a lot, but I feel that it's not personally what I want for this one, just based off of these characters and kind of the universe that they're living in, their space and time. So I
But
would
again,
say that it's definitely not going to be fit into that kind of a category, even though it might have like a couple jokes or something in there that kind of feels, or there might be a certain character that will pay homage to another character that might seem familiar from something that you've already seen. Because I have these things that stick with me. And it comes back from when I was a kid writing my own little mini stories about films that I loved, where something will stick like that was so great or that was funny, and I'd really love to um, do that in my own way because it was super cool. So you might have
hey,
like a character, oh,
it's
that
the
reminds me of this movie, but
it's the furry thing, mascot thing on the IMDb page image that's got me pulled in.
Yeah.
if Avery's still in here, that would be Avery. That's
That
Avery's.
that was awesome. That pulled me in. I'm like, oh, what the hell?
Avery is an amazing artist. I love working with him, and he came up with that poster. We have a new poster that we're putting together just as the campaign winds down in the next few days. I think it ends next Saturday or next Sunday. We'll start to just kind of
Yeah, it's got 8 days left because I still had it open.
we'll
So
be
if
able
anybody wants
to
their Blu-ray, go ahead and go get your Blu-ray. So
exactly. Well, we'll be able to add names. That's what I want to get to finalize on the poster. I get names on there and start getting that, but we have to finalize the cast first, and we have to make sure that we have
It looks like IMDb finally did a little updating for the movie because it added Susan's name finally to it.
yeah, I have to go back in there for everyone that has like a character name, because usually I like for people to name their own characters, because maybe you have a family member or again like a fun character from another movie or something. Um, I have to go back in there, and that's something I got to work on in the next few days before that ends too, because we have a lot of people that got their credits on there, but I don't have like the character names on there yet, so I need to get those added in. So if anybody is still waiting on that, that's where that's kind of at. I just have been trying to work on like the scripts for our remote team, and of course talking to actors to get them on board, and then trying to do a little bit more homework to lock down our locations so that we can get the dates and we can start getting flights for everybody, because those get expensive pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's where things are at, and that's what we're doing. And with the campaign, um, it's just amazing to see it come together so that we're able to get these flights and get these things that I'm having, like the props built and things like that, and then get additional locations. Even though it's too hot to see them right now, I know they're coming. So it's definitely coming together really amazing. Thanks to everybody who keeps sharing and contributing and giving your words of motivation to keep me making something that I hope everybody not only loves to be a part of, but that everyone's going to love watching when we get it out to you. And we do have the distribution in place too. So we've been working a lot with him as well. And
Where
over
did you
there,
get the idea for this one from?
actually from our distributor. It's something that we were discussing. We worked with the distributor before on some other films, including Night of the Zonguls and Silent Night, Bloody Night 3. So and I was just discussing, and I'm like, well, I want to go ahead and do my directorial debut. So we were toying around and discussing some ideas that he was looking for distribution. So that's kind of where the brainchild came from. And then I, being like an outcast kid that never got to be a cheerleader, I'm like, well, heck, I would love to watch some cheerleaders die and make something fun out of that. So there's a couple characters I named after cheerleaders from my middle school that I'm just like, yeah,
you're gonna die. I don't like it.
you're gonna die. So yeah, that's where it's gone. That's where it started. That's where it's heading, and that's what's going on with everything. So, and then anybody who has any questions can message me. I'm accessible. I might be a little slow at times, but you can find me on Facebook, message me. I think that's the most direct way to ask me any questions or anything that I didn't cover on the show that maybe somebody wants to ask me. And I'll find the show too. And if there's comments in there, I'll try to get in there. Because I can't see anything. I saw a couple names, but I didn't get to see everything. So
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, but any other questions in here? I think that might be it, probably for the
Yeah, I
night.
can ask one more because I asked this on one of the last interviews. If there's anybody looking to, perhaps get into being a director or an actor or an actress, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say do everything that you can behind the camera. Even as an actor, I was always like trying to help with certain things or learn certain things. So also write, think about what you would like to do if you have an interest in, taking it in a different direction. And don't be afraid that you're not going to be able to do one thing if you pursue learning about the other, because you can come back. It's just going to be different for every project. So learn, get behind the camera, get help out with sound, help out with lighting, learn about, just ask questions. Ask if you can help somebody with something. Have them teach you how something works. To me, it was just learning about everything that's going on, how it affects things, what they're doing to make it a certain way, and then when you're comfortable, get behind the camera. If you can help even block a scene, if you can help, do anything to get your mind going in that direction to see the whole picture put together, you'll figure out what works best for you and what you like and enjoy. So if you already are thinking about it, or even if you haven't, but that maybe this sparks it if you hear this conversation, I highly suggest getting behind the camera, getting on the production side, and making yourself, a person that is helping everybody and kind of invested and involved in everything that's going on, because it just makes you learn more, even if you do end up focusing on the other end of the camera too.
Cool.
Good advice. All right.
And I like your skeletons.
What was that?
Your skeletons.
Yep.
Those
Yeah.
are all the people that told bad jokes who made them pay.
Oh God. The bad guests go there.
The bad ones, yeah.
Don't skeletonize me.
Well, not until after the movie's done, because I want to be in that first.
Exactly.
I made him, like I said, because part of, I think, as humans, visuals can help pull us in.
Yeah.
So that when I saw that image was on IMDb, again, that furry really did kind of intrigue me.
See, Avery, if Avery is in here, Avery needs to be very proud. Like, Avery's an amazing artist. I really love working with Avery, and he's definitely created some great work. I think the new poster too is going to be fantastic once we have it finalized with names and everything on it, and put together what we need, like maybe the tagline and everything on there. So
I mean, I've been in a movie. I've been in a movie theater on the other side. Where I got the posters, and something would catch my eyes. I'll literally walk over to look at it.
yeah.
So it's good. I do believe that even when you're in the store, you can be shopping and you see something that you saw your eyes that will catch you. So I do really believe in visuals.
No, it's true. It's 100% true. It
I'm
really
gonna have
is.
to go back and watch some of that because my Wi-Fi went out and it was a storm in here.
It's like we had I saw a wine here, plain white label, was like black, like artwork on it, like from Photoshop. It had a ninja on it and said ninja.
Wow.
It caught my attention because all these fancy labels, because it was so like its look.
Yeah, it was sleek. It was, it really got the point established. What are you doing? He's giving me
Like,
that.
I want some attention now. It's time.
He's giving me the side eye.
I know mine just came in. I'm sure any moment now she's going to start playing the dead act, and I'm going to have another heart attack. She likes doing that to me nowadays.
It's the time of the dogs, apparently. I know.
It's like if you needed somebody to play a dead dog, mine has the dead dog act down.
I'm sure you saw the squirrel I posted that faked its death with the broom. Did you see that, Echo?
I did share it. I was like, this is great. I cannot even believe that squirrel.
Hey, remember, it's the goat or the sheep that does that. One of those animals does it.
Fainting goat. It's a goat that does that. They literally, like, fall and have their legs and arms in the air like they died. I know, Loki. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do the thing that you want. He wants the WALK.
Right.
Well, thank you guys. Seriously, I definitely want to come on here again, especially after the movie experience too, because we could talk about that. And
Oh yeah, we could get a bunch of us on too. Whoever wants to come on and do like a big
oh
show
yeah,
for everybody. So
excuse you. You hear him? He's going.
it's like it's.
He's like now, don't wait. Not now. I mean, not in 5 seconds. Now.
So we will definitely, and I'll be keeping everybody updated too with the film too. Don't cry.
All right.
But thank you again. Seriously, it's been a lot of fun. You guys are great.
Yeah, it was kick-ass meeting you.
It was great. I mean, it's so nice when you can talk and it flows and it's just conversational. And I can be awkward sometimes. I'm, just an awkward kind of person sometimes. So
What's awkward?
thank you guys for making me feel welcome.
And if you see Mike Ferguson again, tell him he's a complete sweetheart, that he's not scary as can be. If I ever review one of his movies, I'm gonna have to basically, be really nice because he's scary.
I'll have to send him a message. I know Patrick's had him on too, but yeah, I should get him on here eventually. So yeah.
Yeah, and then you can tell us.
Scary looking.
All right. Well, thanks again. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Bye, you guys, and bye, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Bye. So, and then
Still alive.
I'll just go ahead and move there. Yeah. But I'll go ahead.
Yeah, take care. I gotta go get some water because I'm parched.
So,
Take care. I'm gonna go get some water because I'm parched.
all right. Well, yeah. I gotta get ready to go to bed, but I was just gonna say next week, Gabriella Pizzolo and then Sadie Katz and hello again. She keeps adding.
You guys brought. I've arrested.
And I even removed you. I don't know how you added back. That's weird.
I don't know. I'm gonna go.
But I'm gonna end the broadcast anyway. So everybody have a good night, and we'll see you
Take
next
care.
Bye.
time. Bye.